The 2000s saw an explosion of unmanned air systems in the military sphere, so it comes as no surprise that the United States Navy has since been seeking an unmanned aerial tanker for which to field on its various aircraft carrier decks. The 51-foot-long Boeing MQ-25 Stingray is an aerial refueling drone that resulted from the carrier-based Aerial Refueling System program, which grew out of the earlier Unmanned Carrier-Launched Airborne Surveillance and Strike program. The MQ-25 is intended to take over the role of aerial refueling for the U.S. Navy, a role that is currently filled by the Navy's FA-18 Super Hornets turned tankers. Ultimately, the Navy would like to procure 70 or more MQ-25s, and by having a dedicated tanker, allow FA-18s to perform their carrier strike role as originally intended. It is estimated that 20 to 30% of Super Hornets are tanking flights, causing the airframes to rapidly rack up flight hours. In this video, we're going to take a look at what the future holds for the MQ-25 Stingray. Before we get started, if you do enjoy this video and would like to see more just like it, remember to give us a like and subscribe to our channel to get more sent straight to your notifications. The United States Navy first began its efforts to develop an aircraft carrier-based unmanned combat aerial vehicle in 2006. And throughout the years have experienced many delays and a name change. Boeing's unmanned aerial vehicle actually began life as a dedicated information, surveillance, and reconnaissance platform that would have taken off from carrier flat tops while the manned air wing wasn't in the air. The shift from ISR to tanking means that the MQ-25 will now be flying alongside Navy air wings rather than by themselves. When the development of the aircraft first began back in 2006, the original U-class concept was for a stealthy strike platform capable of penetrating enemy air defenses. By 2012, the lethality and strike requirements were diluted down to make way for an intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance-oriented aircraft that could be quickly developed to conduct low-intensity counterterrorism missions. In 2016, after many delays, it was decided that a significant portion of the effort would be directed to produce a Super Hornet-sized carrier-based aerial refueling tanker with a little intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, and some capabilities for communications relay, with the strike capabilities put off for a future version of the aircraft. It was finally officially given its name MQ-25 Stingray in July 2016, after previously being named RAQ-25A by the U.S. Navy. It was in this year that 4 development contracts were issued, and in 2017, the Navy released the Stingray request for proposals to Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, and General Atomics. In August of 2018, Boeing was announced as the winner of the competition and awarded an $805 million development contract for 4 MQ-25 aircraft to be completed by August 2024. An additional 3 test MQ-25As were ordered on April 2, 2020, for a current total order of 7. It is expected that this may expand to $13 billion overall and consist of 72 aircraft. Ahead of building the engineering development models, Boeing constructed a test vehicle at its own expense to validate systems and software intended for the production MQ-25, which is powered by the Rolls-Royce AE3007N turbofan engine, delivering 10,000 pounds of thrust. That is similar to the power plant of the Northrop Grumman MQ-4C Triton unmanned maritime patroller. Known as Tail 1 or T-1, the company-funded air vehicle took its first test flight on September 19, 2019, in Muscoda, Illinois. The successful 2.5-hour flight with the Cobham aerial refueling system, the same aerial refueling system currently used by FA-18s for air-to-air refueling, was designed to test the aircraft's aerodynamics with the aerial refueling system mounted under the wing. Additional flights continued to test the aerodynamics of the aircraft and the aerial refueling system at various points of the flight envelope, eventually progressing to extension and retraction of the hose and drogue used for refueling. The aircraft has, so far, flown for nearly 30 hours, during which it has been tested at various speeds and altitudes. The T-1 will continue to yield valuable early insights the more it flies with FA-18s, including conducting deck handling testing aboard a carrier. All the testing on the T-1 is laying the foundation for moving rapidly into development and testing of the MQ-25. The aircraft is less stealthy than a flying wing unmanned aerial vehicle. However, it still features a stealthy fuselage shaping, flush inlets to shield engine blades from radar, and a V-shaped tail. Of course, the usual naval aviation qualities are a given on this aircraft: a reinforced structure and understructure to handle the rigors of carrier life, special skin coatings to combat the salty sea environment, day-night operation capabilities, and an arrestor hook for carrier deck landings. All of this is on top of autonomous operation and a fuel delivery functionality when working alongside manned aircraft. Some components integrated on the air vehicle to meet mission requirements include a long wingspan for flight stability and endurance, a Haro DevTech landing gear system, redundancy systems for safety of flight, Raytheon ALR-69A all-digital radar warning receivers providing 360-degree coverage, a Raytheon AAS-52 MTSA multi-sensor imaging system equipped with infrared and CCD TV sensors, laser rangefinder, and designator and illuminator. Tankers for mid-air refueling have been a concern for the Pentagon for some time. In 2009, under the Obama administration, military leaders were faced with having to reduce costs, which ultimately saw the closure of programs aimed at addressing major concerns about the aging tanker fleet. Adding to those difficulties has been the different approaches used by the U.S. forces to refuel in the air. Traditionally, there have been two methods: a flying boom or probe and drogue. The U.S. Air Force uses the boom, while the U.S. Navy and Marines favor the probe and drogue, making some operations more complex, as became evident during the Second Iraq War. The introduction of the MQ-25 drone to carriers will be a major step towards upgrading the carrier wings. The drone will use the traditional catapult and launch and recovery systems, meaning there only needs to be a modest adaptation to the carrier fleet in order to incorporate them. The Stingray will have the capacity to carry 15,000 pounds of fuel and will be used to refuel the FA-18 Super Hornet, EA-18G Growler, and F-35C fighter jets, extending their range and time in the air significantly. Taking off from the deck like any other aircraft, the Stingray will have a range of around 500 nautical miles. Personnel aboard the carrier will operate it using satellite and radio communications to coordinate refueling with pilots. The biggest challenge is designing and building a system to interact with the shipboard infrastructure and coordinating with other programs to ensure alignment as they update their systems. Once back on deck, a handheld controller can be used to guide the unmanned aerial vehicles. Currently, the only tanker in the air wing is the Rhino, meaning when deployed, the MQ-25A will add capacity. Together with a new range of weaponry, they will offer an additional 300 to 400 nautical miles of strike range. The MQ-25 will extend the carrier air wing mission effectiveness range, close the carrier air wing tanker gap, and increase the number of manned aircraft available for the strike fighter missions. Successful delivery of the MQ-25 to the carrier air wing will be a trailblazing moment for naval aviation. It's the first step toward integrating unmanned technology into carrier air wing operations to provide unprecedented capabilities to the warfighter. The MQ-25 will be an integral part of the future carrier air wing by providing an organic aerial refueling capability. Work will largely be carried out at Boeing's St. Louis headquarters in Missouri, although numerous other sites in the U.S. and elsewhere will make contributions. After a few difficult years for Boeing's defense arm, it is thought the contract might be a turnaround in fortunes. Analysts are tipping the market for medium-altitude, long-endurance unmanned aerial vehicles to be worth as much as $22.2 billion between 2017 and 2026, which suggests it is currently the second largest market segment, the largest being unmanned combat aerial vehicles, worth just over $27 billion in the same period. Although the Stingray's intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance-turned-tanker role is going full steam ahead, it remains to be seen if the single-engine platform will have both the payload and the range necessary to provide adequate refueling services. It is expected that flight testing of the Boeing MQ-25 Stingray will begin this year, with initial operational capability slated for 2024, so watch this space. What do you think of the Boeing MQ-25 Stingray? Do you think it's got what it takes? Are there any other feats of engineering you'd like to see us cover? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel to get our latest videos sent straight to your notifications. Thanks for watching.